Seeing that Ziyu no longer spoke to refute, Leona sighed and said in a very serious voice, Ziyu, you have to know that all stars in more than 2 trillion galaxies have their own set of laws of operation. Let alone the lives of billions of people. After all, she folded her hands together and said sincerely, I used to go to temples to burn incense and worship Buddha. Both of you and your father thought I was a futile superstition, but it has long been said in Buddhism that one world is one sand. Even if it's just a gravel, its interior is infinite. In comparison, a galaxy is just a grain of sand in the universe, but it also contains another vast world. The Book of Changes is to tell people a truth. Everything in the universe, from the dust to the stars, everything has its own laws. You cannot understand, it's okay, but you cannot blaspheme. Understand? Ziyu hurriedly nodded, and said softly and obediently, Mom, I understand. I'm sorry, I was really too shallow before. I don't understand traditional gossip, nor do I understand the number of fattened stuff. Leona smiled slightly and said, Everything in the world has rules. As long as you find its rules, you can see its past, present and future. It's as if the ancients learned the laws behind the celestial phenomena, so they began to gradually master the ability to predict the weather. It's like astronomers now have mastered the laws of the sun and the moon, so they can accurately predict every solar eclipse and lunar eclipse in the future, and even calculate every solar eclipse and eclipse thousands of years ago. The essence of the Book of Changes is to summarize the laws between the world and all things and human beings. Once you master this law, you can see one thing, a person's past, present, and future. Since Master King Hawa advises you not to look anymore, then you should be honest and obedient and stop searching anymore. Both you and your brother are my life. Last time you had an accident in Japan, I almost had a heart attack. So in the future, I cannot accept that any accidents happen to you again. Ziyu asked subconsciously, Mom, do you think Master King Hawa is wrong? As she said, she hurriedly explained, I am not suspicious. I just think this kind of thing is like doing a math problem. A little mistake will result in a big deviation. Thousands of miles. Leona shook her head and said earnestly, The Earth revolves around the sun. It takes a year to revolve, but there is never any deviation. And the solar system revolves around the center of the entire Milky Way, and it takes 250 million years to revolve. There will still be no deviation. This is the rigor of the law. The laws of the Book of Changes are as precise as astronomy, and Master King Hawa is the most profound master in the study of the Book of Changes. With him there can be no mistakes. Since he said you are like moths fighting the fire, then you have to stay away from the fire honestly, as far as possible. If you are disobedient and insist on finding him, then I will let your dad send you abroad. As he said, Leona said again, Anyway, Harvard Business School will start in August, and there is still half a year left. If you are not obedient, go there soon. I don't. Ziyu hurriedly blurted out, You are now letting me go to the United States by myself. When I go there, the school will not open, the dormitory will not open, and I will be unfamiliar with the place. It is not convenient to do anything. Leona said seriously, There is no inconvenience. Your dad bought a villa near Harvard University last year. After you go there, you can live there. There are housekeepers, servants, and assistants. Convenient. If it doesn't work, I can accompany you. Ziyu heard this and hurriedly begged, Mom, I don't want to go to the United States now. Then I will listen to you. Can't you find it if you don't? When she said this, Ziyu was deeply unwilling. In my heart, naturally there are 10,000 reasons and I am unwilling to give up looking for the savior. However, my mother is so absolute now. From what I know about her, although she is usually very soft, once she makes a decision, there is basically no room for mediation. So, if I still blindly find my benefactor, my mother will definitely send me to the United States, as she said. At that time, when I am in the United States, thousands of miles away from China, it will be even more impossible to find my benefactor. So, I can only lie first to hold my mother, and then secretly continue to look for him. Leona didn't know what her daughter was thinking at this time. Hearing that she was indeed willing to give up searching, she was relieved. So she looked at Jufei and said seriously, Jufei, you are called by this name because you want to know right from wrong and distinguish right from wrong. Your sister's stake in this matter, Mom has just told you. It's very clear, so for the sake of her life, you must keep in mind that you must never find someone for her secretly. Do you understand? As soon as Jufei heard this, he immediately stated, Mom, don't worry, I am a person who has always been in awe of our traditional culture. Since the master has said so, then I will definitely not help Ziyu. Jufei said the truth. Now some young people, because they have accepted the impact of Western culture, they blindly criticize the traditional culture. Among them, the worst attacked is traditional medicine. Jufei was in an angry youth, and he was somewhat biased towards traditional medicine. He always felt that this medicine lacked scientific basis and clinical experiments. But when he was 19 years old, he once had a low-grade fever that lasted for more than a month. In the hospital, he did all the tests that he could do, and basically tried all the antibiotics, but nothing happened, no effect. Finally, in desperation, he accompanied his family to visit a famous doctor. After the famous doctor diagnosed him, he said that he was invaded by wet evil. He gave him acupuncture on the spot and decocted him with a pair of medicine. Since then, Jufei has understood that everything can always exist, there must be its truth. Traditional medicine has been developed along with civilization for 5,000 years. The wisdom contained in it has actually been denied by him as a kid? Therefore, since then, he has become more awed by traditional culture. The same goes for the talk of the Book of Changes. Ziyu felt even more desperate when he heard this. She knew that if her elder brother couldn't help her, then she would really lose all the help. In this case, would she still have a chance to find her benefactor? Ever since she was rescued in Japan, she would think of Charlie countless times every day, and remember all the details of her rescue. It can be said that Charlie has been deeply rooted in her. So, even if it was really moths fighting the fire, deep down, she didn't want to stop. At this time, Leona looked at Ziyu, and said in a tone that could not be refuted, Ziyu, Mom wants to stay in Orus Hill for a while. During this time, you will stay with me in Orus Hill, so you don't have to go anywhere.